Good morning. I am getting ready to do some more canning. So a couple months ago, I went to Oklahoma to dig for crystals, and on the way back, we saw this cute little pecan store, Miller Pecan Co. So I bought a bunch of stuff, and one of the things I bought was this bag of pecans, and this is 16 ounces. And I've already canned pecan pie filling. I don't want to do that with this. I had this box of pecan pie mix. I've had this for a year or two now. I picked this up at Eckert's, and it's got the breading in it, and you just add eggs, a cup of pecans, and butter and water. So this video is not about making this pecan pie. I'm gonna make this pecan pie. So 8 ounces equals 1 cup. So this is 2 cups of pecans. So this pie requires 1 cup. And then I found this recipe in my favorite canning book. I will do a link below if you're interested. And this requires 1 cup of pecan pieces. So with the extra pecans, I'm making praline syrup. I have all these ingredients: 2 cups of dark corn syrup. It also says you can substitute light, which that's what I'm gonna do. 1/2 cup of water, 1/3 cup dark brown sugar. Again, you can substitute light brown sugar if you prefer the lighter flavor, which I'm going to do. The 1 cup of pecan pieces and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I have all those ingredients. I don't have to go to the store. I have everything. So first thing I'm going to do is make that pecan pie, and then I'm going to get my canner started. It says makes about 4 8-ounce jars. I have extra jars. So this praline syrup, basically it's an ice cream topping, or you can use it to top cake too. But basically, I'm gonna use it to top ice cream. All right, let me get started on this pecan pie, and then I will pull all the ingredients for the syrup. I am going to point something out, and it's probably gonna freak a bunch of you out. It probably would have freaked me out 2 years ago. So this box is expired. It expired January 9th, 2020. I think I bought it in 2019 at Eckert's. And 2 years ago, I would have freaked out about expiration dates. I would not have used it. But after watching enough canning videos and prepper videos, and just the state of the world for the last 2 years, I'm not necessarily willing to throw something away just because it has an expiration date. Expiration dates to me definitely sometimes are like more recommendations than everything. I definitely think I should, for my own opinion, be my own judge. This is sealed perfectly. There are no bugs in here, and it's just flour and seasoning. And so yeah, I'm gonna try it, even though it's 1.5 years expired. And trust me, I would have never done this 2 years ago. I definitely am like the queen of expiration dates. I would throw stuff out. My husband would get mad because he says there's nothing wrong with it. But now I'm a little more lenient on expiration dates. The only thing I'm still hardcore about is actually cooked leftovers. I have a 3-day hard rule about leftovers in the fridge. If I don't eat leftover in 3 days, I do throw that out. That's the only hard rule I've stuck to. But canned and boxed goods, I'm willing to open it and look at it before I judge the expiration date. So yeah, that might freak out some of you, but I don't know. I'm more lenient nowadays. And you know what? I'll even do a taste test at the end and tell you whether it's bad or not. But honestly, what could be wrong with this? You know what I mean? It's just flour. There's no bugs. This is actually the filling part. So I'm sure there's like starch in here, the flavoring for the pecan. But it looks good to me. The only thing I think that could go wrong is maybe it doesn't set up as well because the starch is older, but we'll find out. I think I said in the beginning of this video that this would be 2 cups because 1 cup equals 8 ounces. Well, that's fluid ounces, not necessarily weight. And so this is definitely going to be around 3.5 cups. So I'm not for sure what I'm going to do with the extra, if I'm going to make 2 batches or just keep the extra cup of pecans to snack on because they are really good. So yeah, I just said it wrong earlier and I just wanted to point it out. I'm still learning as I cook. Fluid ounces and weight ounces is different. So yeah, this is a lot more pecans than I was expecting. I need to quit eating them. They are so good. All right, let me get my pecan pie started. And it mixed up really well for being expired batter. Looks pretty darn good. All right, this is I just poured it into this deep dish pie crust. Definitely did not require a deep dish pie crust for this pie. As you can see, there's like a half of inch of too much crust sticking out, but it's what I had in the freezer and I didn't want to go to the store. So I'm gonna get this in the oven, and the box says bake it for 35 to 40 minutes. And then I'm gonna start my, take my water bath canner and fill it. I don't fill it completely full. When you're water bath canning, pay attention to like what jars you're using, because you just want enough water in it to cover the jars. And I'm only doing the half-pint jelly jars, so that pretty much fills half my pot. The only reason I say that is because, Monkey, you're so loud. The more water you have, the longer it takes to boil. And so I only put just enough. You want to cover the jars like by an inch or two. And I rarely use the huge quart jars. And so, yeah, it takes, I know when I do the pint jars, it takes about a half hour for my water bath canner to reach the boiling point. Everyone's different depending on your elevation or the strength of your stove. I just know it takes a half hour, so I want to get that started while I get all my other canning ingredients ready. All right, my water bath canner is boiling. My jars are sanitized and brought to a hot temperature. So now I'm going to get this mixture boiling, because I know it's not going to take long. So the first step is to stir in 2 cups of corn syrup, 1.5 cup water, and 1/3 cup of brown sugar. So bring it to a boil for 1 minute, and then reduce the heat and stir in the pecans and vanilla. Boil that gently for 5 minutes, and then it's ready to add to the jars. That's why I have everything ready, because everything's going to move quickly once this syrup liquid starts boiling. I am just using light corn syrup I had in my cupboard. This is vanilla I've got on a cruise when the world was still cruising, and then light brown sugar from my local grocery store. And of course the pecans, and here's the pecan pie cooling from earlier. It looks good. I mean, of course I have way too much crust, but the actual pecan section looks pretty darn good. All right, so this is the corn syrup, the brown sugar, and the water. So I recommend stirring this constantly. Don't really want to walk away from it. And then once it starts to boil, we will add the pecans and the vanilla, which I have to the side right here already, because it really shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to get to the boiling point. And so yeah, I mentioned earlier I use the light corn syrup and the light brown sugar, but you can use the dark too, whatever you have on hand, whatever your tastes are. I did actually have dark corn syrup, but I did not have dark brown sugar, so that's why I chose the light and light. I'm sure both are very good, but I basically chose what I did because the light is what I had on hand. All right, here is the mixture. Getting ready to pour it into my jars. Remember, the recipe said it only would be 4 jars, but I always sanitize a couple extra, just in case it takes more. You never know. And then this is my handy debubbling tool. It is just a plastic chopstick, and I do have one of these. This is definitely important. You definitely want to, oh my God, I forgot the name of these. You know what it's called, but it's Sunday and my mind is blank. Oh my God, what is this called? All right, they look really good, but see what I'm talking about? It only made 3 jars when the recipe said 4. I mean, there could be so many factors. I could have boiled it longer than the original recipe maker did. Maybe I didn't scrape enough syrup or Caro syrup out of the cup. Just, it's the littlest things that could change it. So that's why I always have a couple extra jars. But it made 3 jars perfectly, which is more than I need, and so I'm quite happy with it. And I did taste test it in the pan, and this syrup tastes amazing. So now I am going to wipe the rims down, put the lids on, and water bath can it for 10 minutes. Look at how good my praline syrup looks like. Looks very similar to my pecan pie filling. It's just smaller jars, so I definitely will label these. I label all my canning items I can. I used to not to because I'd only can like jalapenos and pickles, but since I've been canning so much different stuff lately, I am definitely making sure I label everything. I watched a couple good videos of people talking about other canning people talking about labeling, because like, you know, what happens if, you know, you're not feeling well and someone makes something for you, they don't know what are in the jars. So very good point. Definitely need to label your jars, so if you ever have someone else helping out, they're gonna know what's in the jars. And then here is the pecan pie I mentioned. It's cooled down enough, so I'm gonna cut a piece and try it real quick. Remember in the beginning of the video, I used mix that's over a year expired, so we're testing is it still good after a year after the expiration date. It looks good. It's set up good. Looks just like other pecan pies I've had. So let's now taste test it. All right, here we go. You're gonna see my honest reaction. Oh, as I lose half of it from the fork. Tastes like pecan pie. Tastes really good. It's not like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what could have went wrong with expired flour and starch, but it's set perfectly. The flavor is really good. I'm not worried at all. It's actually really good, which is good because I'll probably be eating the whole pie. My husband's not a huge fan of pecan pie. I love it, so I will refrigerate it. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to refrigerate pecan pie. I always do, but it's really good. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you later.